Good day, brothers and sisters. Another day to spend with the Lord. Come, let us listen and reflect on His Word.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Matthew. The Pharisees went off and plotted how they might entrap Jesus in speech. They sent their disciples to him with Herodians, saying, "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth, and you are not concerned with anyone's opinion, for you do not regard a person's status. Tell us then, what is your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not?" Knowing their malice, Jesus said, "Why are you testing me, you hypocrites? Show me the coin that pays the census tax." Then they handed him the Roman coin. He said to them, "Whose image is this and whose inscription?" They replied, "Caesar's." At that, he said to them, "Then repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God." The Gospel of the Lord.
The question of taxes. An official of the Bureau of Internal Revenue once remarked that no Filipino pays his or her taxes willingly. But this is true of citizens everywhere. Still, taxes have to be paid so that the government may continue to function, and hopefully corrupt functionaries will not fatten their wallets with people's hard-earned money. In Jesus' time, the Jews had to pay taxes too. They paid the temple tax to religious authorities for the maintenance of the Jerusalem temple and its services. Pious Jews would certainly be glad to give God what belongs to God, but they hated to pay the census or the poll tax that was due to the Roman emperor. This is the point of the controversy in today's gospel reading. There is no doubt about the Pharisees' intention. They planned to entrap Jesus by his words. They enlist the Herodians in their plot. The two parties are at odds. The Pharisees do not like Herod, the Tetrarch, and his followers, who are cozy with the Romans. But in order to get rid of Jesus, the Pharisees are willing to sleep with the enemy. The trap is perfectly set. If Jesus says it is not lawful to pay the tax, he will anger the Roman officials. If he says that it is in accord with the Torah, he will offend the ardent nationalists and the people at large who have no love for the Romans. Jesus is aware of the malice, and as a master of the cultural game of challenge and riposte, he has a trap of his own. He asks for a coin that pays the census tax. They produce the Roman denarius, equivalent to a daily wage, which bears the image of the Emperor Tiberius and an inscription: Tiberius Caesar Augustus, son of the divine Augustus, high priest. The Pharisees are supposed not to carry the coin because they consider possession of the coin with such graven image an idolatry. Maybe a Herodian from the group is the source of the coin. Still, the Pharisees shame themselves for consorting with the Herodians. Jesus' answer to the thorny issue is, "Repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God." With regard to Rome and Caesar, not to pay the tax would cause more trouble than to pay it. If this is what it costs to live in peace under the present condition, so be it. All the subjects of the empire do. This is what the Pharisees are doing too. What is important is to render God His due. What matters most is to please Him. Jesus' exhortation, "Repay to God what belongs to God," implies that neither the Pharisees nor the Herodians do it. The Lord expects of the Jews a humble and generous heart and obedience to the commandments. The fact that the Pharisees plan to get rid of Jesus bespeaks of their malice. Jesus also charges them of hypocrisy and self-righteousness. Those whom they condemn as sinners are justified before God because of their repentance and belief in Jesus. The Pharisees remain in their sin of self-righteousness.